Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third video of the 2020 CSU HSI-STEM Summit Series, presented by the Center for Evaluation and Educational Effectiveness, or CEEE, at CSU Long Beach. The purpose of this video is to provide tools and examples of how to start mapping your program activities to the CSU Graduation Initiative 2025, or GI 2025. Additionally, I will show you how to map your project activities to the U.S. Department of Education HSI-STEM Title III Part F grant performance measures. My name is Veronica Fematt, and I'm the Policy and Practice Dissemination Coordinator for the CSU HSI-STEM Supplemental Grant Project at CEEE. Outlined here are the session goals for this video presentation. The first goal is to review the CSU Graduation Initiative, or GI 2025 goals. The second goal is to demonstrate how to utilize program and evaluation data to map project efforts to the goals and indicators of the CSU GI 2025 and U.S. Department of Education performance measures. The third goal is to build support for institutional capacity and aid in the institutionalization or future grant work for project activities. Hopefully by the end of this video session, you will walk away with the completed templates mapping your program activities to both the GI 2025 goals and to the U.S. Department of Education performance measures using both program data and evaluation data. First, I would like to provide a brief overview of the CSU Graduation Initiative 2025, or GI 2025, which was launched in 2015. Shown here are the 6 pillars, or operational priorities, the CSU identified to effectively implement graduation initiative efforts across the system. The CSU embarked on a major effort to double its graduation rate by 2025 and eliminate achievement gaps for underrepresented minorities, first-generation college students, and low-income students. Participants of the CSU HSI-STEM Summit recognized the need to link their project's efforts to the goals and indicators of the GI 2025 work. And a major goal of CEEE's dissemination work is to assist partners with mapping their program activities to the GI 2025 goals in order to tie grant-funded work to the system. First, I will show you an example of how to map your program activities to the GI 2025 pillars using your data. To do this, I will be mapping the transfer program activities from CSU Long Beach, the Si Puedo project, to the GI 2025 goals. Afterwards, I will show you an example of how to map your program activities to the U.S. Department of Education performance measures. Shown here is a template that we created at CEEE for mapping your project activities to the GI 2025 goals. This handout can be found on the right-hand side of this webpage. I recommend downloading the handout so you can begin mapping your project activities to the GI 2025 goals. In this example, I have filled out the template. However, please note that the evidence presented on this template is for demonstration purposes only. The evidence shown here is not real data from these programs. Returning to the template, you'll notice that the GI 2025 goals are listed in the left column, and in the middle column, I have listed the program activities that satisfy the goal. In the evidence column, I have included the corresponding evidence for each of the program activities I listed. As a reminder, you should be using both program data and evaluation data in the evidence column. I recommend revisiting the previous 2020 CSU HSI-STEM Summit video, or video 2, where SK Ramesh provided instruction on how to move from formative evaluation to summative evaluation. In that video, Ramesh went through his program's Matrix of Objectives form, where he used multiple data sources to meet various program performance measures. These types of forms or templates are a very simple and effective way to highlight your grant-funded program activities and the ways in which your program activities are meeting the CSU GI 2025 goals, especially as you make your case for institutionalization, which will be the focus of the final 2020 CSU HSI-STEM Summit video presented by Dawn and Avery from CEEE. Now let's take a look at the CEEE template you can use to map your program activities to the U.S. Department of Education performance measures. First, let's take a look at the 10 HSI-STEM Title III Part F performance measures labeled A through J. A handout with a list of these performance measures can also be found on the right-hand side of this webpage as well. The final handout that we have provided is the template shown here, where you can map your program activities and the corresponding evidence to the U.S. Department of Education HSI-STEM performance measures like you did in the previous handout, where you mapped your program activities to the GI 2025 pillars. Or if you would like, you can create a more detailed template or table where you can map your program activities to both the GI 2025 goals and the U.S. Department of Education performance measures. In this next example, we're going to take a look at how you can map your program activities to both the GI 2025 goals and the U.S. Department of Education performance measures. Shown here is an example of a more detailed template or table where you can map your program activities to both the GI 2025 goals and the performance measures. You'll notice that in the left-hand side, the column contains 3 different transfer program activities, and to the right of that, we have listed the CSU GI 2025 goals that program satisfies. To the right of that, we have listed the U.S. Department of Education performance measures that are satisfied by that transfer program. And we have listed finally on the right-hand side, the evidence that satisfies both those goals from that particular program. In terms of next steps, projects will return their completed templates from this video presentation to me later this fall. staff will then finalize these documents and translate them into infographics, which projects can then use to communicate with others, such as administrators and funders, in terms of how their activities align with the institutional and system-wide goals, and how their activities have helped contribute towards the GI 2025 graduation targets and closing achievement gaps. This concludes the 3rd video of the CSU STEM Summit. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me directly. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to receiving your completed templates in the near future.